Okay, mission 19, another tricky one. Um, and one thing to note is all we need to do here is we should have 8 promotion points by now. So we had the 2 left over after 16. We gained 2 in 16, 17, and 18. So we're up to 8. That's just enough to afford a hero, fortunately. And we're really going to need 2 airstrikes. So let's just jump into it. Okay, this first thing is a new strat, so it's not 100% certain exactly how to align this, but this is what I've been doing with um, my setup. So here we go. Um, First thing to note is I want to end this in front of this sort of I or a T sort of texture. I'm just going to end with the circle of my hero here, and I'm going to point towards this circle here. If I'm roughly here, this will affect what the commando does. The commando will just straight away move to a position and then fire a bazooka instantly. This is different to what old strats used to be, where I'd move somewhere further over here, and the commando would take their entire turn, try to pull out a bazooka, but then fail to get the shot off, which is actually good for 100%, but in any percent, we actually don't care if he bazookas our guys. Unless he gets like a really good hit and the spy throws some gas and the pyro actually gets a really good mortar, we should be fine. But it's one thing to point out. So I've made that setup. Next thing, the airstrike for me is, let's just pause the game. So I'm putting the center of this airstrike aligned with this sort of piece of texture here and halfway along this sort of bridge tile. So here, so something like the something like that. You might have to find a slightly different setup if you have different graphic settings, or I'm not entirely sure if there are other factors. And then all I'm going to do now is rotate. So I push at least the surgeon any amount this way, but not too much, and I should roughly point to the center of the box. You might find you'll need slightly different setups, but this is what works for me when I've moved to that position and pointing at that sort of dark circle. Surgeon should stay up there. I should have got good damage. Sometimes this spy will now throw the gas really early now, which I got, which is good. I can't get this guy to do this all the time, but it worked here. Otherwise, he waits another 4 or 5 seconds. Next shot, kind of easy, just another airstrike. You don't have to move. One thing to note is the surgeon can sometimes slip all the way down here, and obviously you'll need to put the airstrike more over here. And we're kind of just remembering roughly where the spy ended up from that last turn. But we can, if we don't pay any attention, which I'm not sure I did, but I think he's going to be roughly here-ish. If we just wait, we'll be able to see some markings or just some sort of a glinting texture. I'm not really sure what it is, or if it's an oversight, or if it is meant to be, but obviously you can't see the spy's X. So let's look out for that. As you just saw, it just appeared roughly here. So I know to point to this spy now, and I want the tail I want to actually pull the tail of this marker so I can just about see a few pixels this side of Smith over here, so something like that. Maybe even more. This should actually get an instant kill most of the time. If they're further apart, don't focus on trying to get the instant kill, because you won't get it. He needs to be somewhere up here. I'll save that. I'll try a few. Well, I'll see if I get the instant kill. So yeah, 3 bombs hit him. I got the instant kill. Not much more to say about that. Sometimes you'll get the instant kill, sometimes you won't. He should move and bazooka immediately. This is kind of quick. We'll see how damaging. Sometimes he'll miss, which is really good. Other times. And as I mentioned earlier in the tutorial about the mortar, I just remembered he won't actually mortar your group because he should be mortaring this guy. So we're going to pre-angle our super shotgun now up to the second dot, and I'm just going to aim between, I can see these 2 dark dots next to each other. I'm just going to end my turn here and then face the commando. So I just walk to these 2 dots and go to the right of them. Then aim at the commando's face, and that should be a kill most times. Sometimes the bullets, if you don't aim up high enough, will go into the ground and he'll just sort of just fall short. Sometimes he'll get an insane kickback anyway, even if a bullet misses. And yeah, as he should mortar that guy. Next turn. This one is, there's a more risky strat, which I'm going to show off first. So all I need to do is aim up so I can just about see a gold pixel or so on this marker here. And then I'm just kind of going to walk along here just so I'm just past this white texture and just roughly here. The other thing is to note here, you need to be facing slightly to the left to perform these wall glides. I guess I should have explained that earlier because this is the first time in this Bellyopolis run that you'll see these this wall glide. I'll show it again in a sec, but if you need to be along the map's edge, otherwise you slip on these slippery textures. Next thing is to aim roughly towards this piece of texture. So now you should be aiming at this pyro. Now you're going to manual aim just to do some fine tuning and hope, really, because quite a lot of time this fails just because you get a random scatter shot of super shotgun bullets. Sometimes 1 bullet is enough. Sometimes you'll get 1 bullet hit and he'll just slide along the map's edge and survive, which is kind of annoying. So I'm gonna do a save state. So aim as close. So that only 1 bullet hit him there, I think, but that was a success. I made a save state so I can try a few more times and try a bit lower. I got an even larger kickback. You'll just get slightly different. That's maybe too high. I kind of want to. That just about worked. I'll do it until I fail, which let's see. This, see, that's a fail that you can get. Sometimes you'll just aim roughly at the pig. You'll feel like you've nailed it, and then just all the shots will go off to one side, and you'll be sad. I'll need to go back to this other save state. So another thing I'll explain here is to get these wall glides, all you need to do is ever so slightly face the outside of the map. As soon as you start facing more in towards the map, you'll end up on the slippery tiles again. So you get to the edge, you can straighten up, but don't ever be facing more right along here. You can face more right here, but again, we're going to come up against more slippery tiles in a sec, so go more left. And here is the safe strat. So continuing, one thing I had to do there was to face to my left to get past that pillbox. If you try to walk straight along that pillbox, you'll just walk into the pillbox a lot. I can walk to here. I should have angled up my super shotgun earlier. Face this guy, target his head. Boom, he's dead. Takes a little while longer to get to him that way, but it's 100% guaranteed success. Again, you had to do a few different wall climbs. So as I'll show here, I'll show falling off. So you don't want to go too far right, otherwise you'll start slipping. Just hug the wall and you straighten up. You try to straighten up as much as possible without slipping because that gives you more speed. You can see if I'm facing, the more I'm facing left, the slower I'm going. So we try to straighten up as much as possible without going too far right. Can aim that up, and yeah, another wall climb here. I'll show walking into the pillbox if you're too straight. No. If I'm not entirely sure actually. I have walked into that pillbox before without rotating. So the other thing you can do here is to try aim up to that gold piece, turn roughly to that texture and do a no scope. Maybe I'll do that in a run at some point if if it's the only place I can save time. But yeah. So the first airstrike quite precise to try to get enough damage on the spy whilst keeping him in the same spot and getting good damage on the surgeon. Then a fairly easy airstrike, a fairly hard super shotgun, but you shouldn't fail that one as much. And then to end with, you can either go with a risky one or a safe one. Go with the safe one for your first few runs, and then maybe try your luck at the hard one. That's it for this one. Good luck.